Our next company is EmbedTek of Heartland. EmbedTek manufactures complex embedded computers and integrated displays for its clients, primarily in the medical equipment and automotive industries. This dynamic company has grown its revenues from $1 million in 2010 to almost $24 million in 2014. A very rapid trajectory. The company plans to move into a new facility in August. Please welcome CEO Dan Eicher.
Dan is here today to discuss his company's internal transparency policy. The company meets monthly and bears its financials with all of its employees. Dan, tell us more about why you do that and what the company gains from doing that.
Thanks, Steve. Well, Steve and I talked about this, and I told him a story about it. And I think at the end of it, Steve said, yes, say that. So I will, as I like to do what I'm told. But, you know, it starts at a higher level premise, which is just treating people as we'd like to be treated. You know, the simple golden rule. And given how engaged, you know, people are in their jobs, or we want them to be, if I'm in that role, I would want to understand as much as I could. So we do share from our strategies down to goals and our actual financials. And I told Steve a story about early in my career when I was working in small business, and I went to the owner and I said, you know, I'd like to share, and we'll call him Barry. I said, Barry, I'd like to share, you know, with the employees our financials, because we're rolling out these strategies. I'd like them to understand how they all roll up. And he said to me, he says, well, you know, our financials, well, it'll show that we made $1 million. They'll think that I got that $1 million. And I said, well, Barry, they think that now. You know, and probably more. So, well, some of the people, you know, if they see that, you know, half the people that see that information aren't going to understand it. So, well, you know, I'll take half. You know, I'd be pleased with 25% really understanding and really engaging with it, you know, at the first time we go through this. That's not a bad number. And maybe next time it's 30, maybe next time it's 40, whatever. But if I'm sitting and I'm working in that company, I'd like to understand that. So, you know, a couple days later, he came back to me and he said, you know, I've thought about that, and I'm okay with it. So, okay, well, I'd already shared them with people, so those of you who've worked with me will know that I tend to do that. But at any rate, you know, it's just part of that, just that general concept of, again, if you're working in that business, you see these goals. How do these all roll up? What picture do they paint? What are we really, at the end of the day, trying to accomplish? So we found it to be really productive, and just again, if you're not giving them that information, they're filling in the gaps themselves. So in the lack of the actual facts or the information, it tends to fill in with perhaps things you don't necessarily want. And in our business, you know, we have no issue with sharing that. It may not be the same with everyone else's, but it's certainly been good for the environment that we have.
So the moral of the story is just do it. You can always apologize for it later.
That's right. And I still have more of my 3 minutes, so I will say, I go into work this morning and my son said, well, what are you doing today? And I told him, well, we've got this deal, we won this award, you know, about, he goes, oh, okay, well, so what are you going to say? And I'm like, well, I'll tell him this story. So I told him this story. He said, when did that happen? I said, oh, it's like 25 years ago. I said, you're old. Have fun at school, Paul. So.
How about a hand for Dan?